Hi there, my name is Zoë Kilgren. I am in a rock band based out in Los Angeles. We make a kind of blend of rock music. We all have a different style of genre that we bring to the table, but I write all of our songs and I sing all of our songs. And we've been having a lot of fun over the past year and a half, creating singles and playing shows around Los Angeles. We're really lucky to get to speak with you guys today.
Cool. Thank you so much for talking to us. It feels very exotic to be talking to someone in LA. And I know we're in 2024, these things happen all the time, but I still feel a little bit like I'm sitting in this house in Southwest London, talking to someone in LA, and I'm just
Mhm.
imagining a beautiful beach outside your house. Is there people kind of rollerblading past, looking beautiful, or
Well, it's funny. No, there's construction happening outside my window. But I'm from Virginia originally, so I'm from like the mountains where in the middle of nowhere, kind of um, like the hometown you try to escape. That's where I'm from. So I've only been in Los Angeles for about 6 years now. So it still feels new. It still feels like every day I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in La La Land.
Mm. And what drew you to LA? Was it music? Or...
Yeah, I moved out here for the arts right out of high school, kind of escaping a less than stellar home life and just kind of came out here on a whim. And I went to college right before quarantine happened, and then quarantine happened, and I couldn't go to college. And in a very roundabout, weird way, I've luckily been able to make music the thing that is happening in my life. So, yes and no. I was solo for a while, and then I met these guys all very serendipitously, and they are like my best friends. They're like my people. I like to say I found the three white guys in all of America that will listen to a woman. Um, no, they're really wonderful, and they've challenged me to write in, different styles and really step out of my comfort zone because I always wrote like folk music. That's where I grew up. That's what I know the best is folk music. And they've really challenged me to like get into this grunge rock and roll kind of style, which feels really good. So we've got James Wenz, who is our bassist. We've got Richard Fallon, who is our guitarist, and then Nick Ferrucci is our drummer. We released an EP back in August of 2023, and then every month this year we've been trying to release singles. So in February we released Nick's song, and then in March we released I Don't Mind. This will be our third single that we're releasing, um, which is a lot of fun. It's definitely like crazy to always be releasing music, but I feel like that's kind of what you have to do these days to like stay relevant.
Yeah, that's what they say, isn't it? Yeah, it's tough work though, isn't it? And especially when you're starting out.
Yeah, well, I I never shut up. I'm always writing. Like I just can't be quiet. So it's nice.
And tell me a bit about the LA scene as well. So as a kind of, young up and coming musician, what's it like? Are there lots of venues to play in, or do you feel that you get support from other artists, other bands? Is
I
there much of a scene there?
It's interesting. There, I think like with any big city or anywhere, you have to find the right people and you have to find like the core group that is going to support you or help. Out here, it's a lot of bookers who will book you for venues, and then the venues will have their own charges, and everyone there's a lot of, how do I say this like nicely? There's a
Oh,
lot of
just
systems,
go for it.
there's a lot of systems in place uh to take money away from these new artists, which is really disheartening because all that any of us really want to do is just play music, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to put on a show. So we worked with bookers before. I realized that that was, a Ponzi scheme. Uh, we've started booking on our own, which is a lot better. And it's really, you find your group of people who come out and support, you find your fan base, you find your audience, and then from there you just slowly hope that it starts to grow. I think Los Angeles is big enough that every niche can have their own really successful time and their really own successful lifespan. It just kind of depends on whether you're going to stick it out or not. So this song is about going no contact with my mom, and I grew up in a very, like textbook narcissist, like alcoholic, abusive household. Um, Left as soon as I was able. And over the past year or so, I've been kind of deconstructing what that was like. And actually, like, now that I've been removed from it for so long, I can look at it and go, oh, okay, so we should deal with all of the implications that that has brought into your adult life. Um, and this song is kind of like my retaliation because I never did anything to stand up for myself, because when you're raised in that way, standing up for yourself isn't even like something that is taught to you. So it's not something that I ever learned how to do. But now that, I'm an adult in the real world, I'm very big on standing up for myself, and I don't let people push my boundaries. And this is kind of that to, you know, this is a response to growing up that way and being like, oh, this is my hit back. This is what I have to say. And it's going to be closing that book. Yeah.
It's such a powerful message, and it's one that I think a lot of people will relate to and find kind of comfort in and inspiration. I mean, I personally, not to turn it back to me, but I can really relate to this as well. I am 47. I'm a lot older than you, but I'm very recently gone no contact with both of my parents for similar reasons. And it's taken me a long time to get to that point. So it's really inspiring to see someone your age with that sense of rebuilding your life and taking charge of your own history. So do you feel that music has helped you, creativity has helped you to
Yeah. And music has always been the only thing that like keeps my head on straight. Like ever since I was like 6 years old. I mean, growing up in an environment like that where kind of all like autonomy or sense of self is taken away from you, you cling on to like things really hard, and I always clung on to writing and music really hard. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of how my brain makes sense of the world. I'm not really good at like talking about my feelings, but if I can like write some lyrics and get with the band and kind of do it that way, it's very much that's how it happens. That's how it gets out of me. It gets better. Uh, I have a little brother who is still living at home with our mom, and it makes me think about him a lot of like just power through. just you get through it. It gets better. And one day you wake up and it's one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be years later on, and suddenly you have your own life and your own friends and your own career and people who love you and this family that you found, and it's going to work out. But I know in like those really dark moments, it feels like everything's caving in. Uh, but it will get better. We're working on new music to release later on in the year, and then starting on hopefully booking a West Coast tour. So like kind of up and down the West Coast. That's our big hope for the end of the year.
Yeah, exciting. And any album plans, or is
I
that
think we're
further down?
just gonna keep trucking along with these singles. We definitely want to release an album probably next year, but for right now, getting sorting through all of our songs and collecting the best ones for sure is our priority.
Thanks so much for your time, Zoe. It's lovely to meet you. And yeah, best of luck with the release.
Thank you.